Hello viewers, in this video I am going to start with chapter 7 integrals. First let me give a brief introduction about integrals. Suppose there is a function f of x. Suppose there is a function f of x which is differentiable in an interval I. That is d by dx of f of x equal to f dash of x exists everywhere in the interval I. Now, if we are given f of x, then we can find the derivative of f of x as d by dx of f of x is equal to f dash of x. Here what happens if f dash of x is given? If f dash of x is given and we are asked to find f of x, then what is the process? The process of finding f of x when f dash of x is given is called integration. And this f of x is called the antiderivative or integral of f dash of x. Now let us take an example. Let's suppose f of x is equal to sin x. We know that d by dx of sin x, the derivative of sin x is cos x. On the other hand, we are given the derivative, that is we are given f dash of x is equal to cos x and we are asked to find f of x. That is cos x is the derivative of which function? Cos x is the derivative of sin x. So the antiderivative of cos x is sin x. Let us take another example. Let f of x is equal to sin x plus some constant c, where c is a real number. Now what is the derivative of f of x? The derivative of f of x is again, it is equal to this cos x, because the derivative of a constant term is 0. Hence, when we are finding antiderivative or integral, we have to write integral cos x dx is equal to sin x plus c. That is, this cos x is the derivative of the function sin x plus c. It is not that integral cos x dx is equal to a unique sin x. It varies for different values of c. So this is with respect to integral and integration. So the formula that gives the antiderivatives of a function is called indefinite integral, and this process of finding the antiderivatives is called integration. So I think you are able to understand the meaning of antiderivatives or integral and the process of integration. Now let us see integration as an inverse process of differentiation. As I have already mentioned, let us take an example of the function d by dx of x cube by 3. D by dx of x cube by 3 is 3x square by 3, which is equal to x square. Let us take d by dx of x cube by 3 with some constant c. D by dx of x cube by 3 plus c. Again it is equal to x square. So when we are asked to find the integral of x square, we have to write integral x square dx is equal to x cube by 3 plus c. So this is how we can say integration is an inverse process of differentiation. It is the other way round of differentiation. Now we will see the derivatives of some of their functions and how to find the integrals. So we all know d by dx of x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1 is equal to x raised to n. So integral x raised to n dx is equal to x raised to n plus 1 by n plus 1 plus c. We should not forget the c. The c is an arbitrary constant and it can be any real number. Next one, let us consider d by dx of x. Here is nothing but x raised to 1. So d by dx of x is 1. So integral 1 into dx is equal to integral dx is equal to x plus c. The next we move on to various trigonometric functions. D by dx of sin x is cos x. So integral cos x dx is equal to sin x plus c. Next, d by dx of minus cos x is sin x. So integral sin x dx is minus cos x plus c. The next one is d by dx of tan x is equal to secant square x. So integral secant square x dx is equal to tan x plus c. The next one is d by dx of minus cot x, it is equal to cosecant square x. So integral cosecant square x dx is equal to minus cot x plus c. Next we have d by dx of secant x is equal to secant x tan x. Hence integral secant x tan x dx is equal to secant x plus c. Next we have d by dx of minus cosecant x, it is equal to cosecant x cot x. So integral cosecant x cot x dx is equal to minus cosecant x plus c. The next one, d by dx of sin inverse x is equal to 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. So hence integral dx by square root of 1 minus x square is equal to sin inverse x plus c. Next one is d by dx of cos inverse x is equal to 1 by minus cos inverse x is equal to square root of 1 by square root of 1 minus x square. So integral dx by square root of 1 minus x square is equal to minus cos inverse x plus c. We will continue. The next one is d by dx of tan inverse x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square. So integral dx by 1 plus x square is equal to tan inverse x plus c. Next one is d by dx of minus cot inverse x is equal to 1 by 1 plus x square. So integral dx by 1 plus x square is equal to minus cot inverse x plus c. The next one, d by dx of secant inverse x is equal to 1 by x into square root of x square minus 1. Hence integral dx by x into square root of x square minus 1 is equal to secant inverse x plus c. Next, d by dx of minus cosecant inverse x is equal to 1 by x into square root of x square minus 1. So integral dx by x into square root of x square minus 1 is equal to minus cosecant inverse x plus c. Next we have the exponential function and the logarithmic function. We know d by dx of e raised to x is e raised to x. So integral e raised to x dx is equal to e raised to x plus c. Then d by dx of log mod x is 1 by x. So integral dx by x is equal to log mod x plus c. Next one is d by dx of a raised to x by log a is equal to a raised to x. So integral a raised to x dx is equal to a raised to x by log a plus c. So like this we can find the integrals from their derivatives. I hope this is clear. Next we will see some of the properties of integrals. Some of the properties are d by dx of integral f of x dx is equal to f of x and integral f dash of x dx is equal to f of x plus c. This is the first property. The second property is integral f of x plus g of x into dx is equal to integral f of x dx plus integral g of x dx. The third one is integral k into f of x dx, where k is any real number, is equal to k into integral f of x dx. The next one is we can combine these two and extend for n functions. Now let us say k1, k2 up to etc. kn are n real numbers and f1, f2 up to etc. fn are n functions. Then integral k1 f1 of x plus k2 f2 of x plus k3 f3 of x plus up to etc. plus kn fn of x is equal to k1 into integral f1 of x dx plus k2 into integral f2 of x dx plus up to etc. plus kn of x integral fn of x dx. I hope this is clear. So we have I have given a brief introduction about integrals. We have seen the various standard for the formulae for integrals and some of the properties of integrals. In my next video, I will be continuing with the first exercise of chapter 7. Thank you for watching.